There he is.
What's up, man? Hey, come on, man. Welcome, man. Welcome.
Kev, what's happening, brother? Good to see you, man.
Thank y'all for having me.
Y'all just come to my studio. And,
I did feel like I felt like the man when I was able to say that. Y'all was like, we need this spot. I was like, you need a spot, man.
But then he say, thank y'all for having me. No, thank you for having us.
We're having each other. I wanted to follow y'all at the studio.
Yes, sir.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On the vision, I can trust. Limitless. Take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant.
Channing Crowder, Fred Taylor, and Ryan Clark, Pivot Fam, thank you for pivoting with us. We're here with Kevin Fredericks. His name is actually not KevOnStage, or you can call him KevOnStage. KevOnStage, you know he likes that. Also, too, let me get this out the way real quick, because you be crying a lot on the show, so I'm hit you with the Ray J real quick.
Oh, we got a crier?
Yeah,
we got a crier?
I just want you to get it. All right.
When you talk about my brother, I'm liable to cry.
Cool,
man.
there you go.
Ray J knocked all the tears out of me, man. He hit me so hard, I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah.
He smacked the crap out of me.
I'll let you know if you cry, I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
They get on me all the time.
I told my homegirls, she said, hey, man, stop crying on these podcasts. I'm like, man, I'm trying. But it became, you know, the older you get, man, I'm way more emotional.
Yep.
Even outside of my brother, after I had kids, I feel like that unlocked a part of my emotion that wasn't there prior. And now I just be open. I be wide open, man. And I don't hide it.
Hey, look what he said, though. Ray J did he say. Thanks, Ray J. Bro, it was like
for me. Yeah. He posted up. He was like, I got you, Kev.
Kev, Channing's a crier too, and I'm looking at you guys sit side by side. If you had dreads, man, y'all might be twins.
Oh, he a good-looking dude, huh?
That's what I said when I first saw him. I was like, man, that dude good looking right there, man. Hey, you do have a brother named KevOnStage.
I do. He physically fit, too.
He looked like you for real.
I don't know what God was doing, but he has not made enough faces. He has passed my model out to too many people. Sometimes people text me and I'll be like, dang, like I really have to lean in. Like, did I do that? Yeah. It'd be really looking like me. So I either need to get in shape, grow my hair, because if you bald, light skinned, a little chubby, they'd be like, you look like Kevin Kev, you look like Kev, you look like Kev. Now sometimes I ain't gonna hold you, sometimes people show me people, I'll be like, come on now, don't disrespect me.
If they too young, you get to thinking back about that one night. Ooh, what's your mama name?
Luckily for me, I've been with the same woman since I was 16.
I was about to say, yeah.
So I don't got no surprises in the closet.
For you, though, the comedy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, comedy has to be birthed in a place. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, Chan always talks about being funny because he felt like he was in different places and people were making fun of him. He was like, and funny was my way out. For you, what birthed the funny in Kevin?
I think for me, it is very specific. I was a church kid. All we had was church. Like we were raised back in the day when it was like literally no hyperbole, church 5 out of 7 days a week. We just didn't go to church on usually Monday and maybe Thursday. But it was either Bible study, choir rehearsal, evangelistic service. They don't even have that anymore. Youth choir rehearsal. I went to choir rehearsal when my mom went because we didn't have babysitters, so we just went wherever she went. And then obviously Sunday all day. So church was my first thing that I observed in a lot of quality. And then after dinner, my grandma and them would be like, yo, do Sister Daniel shout, or do Elder Washington mess that word up. So I would perform for them, and it would let me stay up a little bit later. Like I could see, every time I make them laugh, I get away with something I usually don't get away with. I could stay up a little later, I could have more food, I could sit closer to the grown folks, stuff like that. So I realized immediately that there was value in making people laugh. And then as a kid, I used to get bullied. And for me, it was like a diffuser. Because you can't you can't beat up somebody when everybody's laughing. It's like, oh man, come on, stall him out. Even though I had one bully, Fat Tony, he beat me up every single day for like 2 years straight. Fat Tony, I hope he's in jail now. I really hope he's got a life.
Why didn't you go the other way home?
No, man, I just hope no matter where I went, Tanner, he found me. I went out the back of the school, I went through the principal's office. No matter what, he was like, there you are. And the crazy part is, we would walk home together, laughing and stuff. And he used to, when he beat me up, he would be like, all right, put your hands together. And I would put both my hands together, and he would grab them with one hand. That's how big his hands were. And then he'd sock me out with the other hand.
Why you kept putting your hands out, though?
I mean, it was time. It was bullying time, man. I knew what time it was. He would have to be 6'2", 3 Honda in 3rd grade. But yeah, just like that. And before that, we would be laughing, having a great time. And he'd be like, all right, man. Put your hands together.
Bully time.
It's bullying time. So, but you know, I think up until that point, it would be laughter and jokes and stuff like that. I used to make my teachers laugh. I used to get out of trouble for making my teachers laugh. So I realized there was just benefits to making people laugh. And I think it was really nurtured in my family. It was nurtured in church. My church allowed me to do skits and stuff. I used to really perform. I remember I was David and Goliath. My brother was David and I was Goliath in like a little church skit. We used to do this thing called PYPU, Pentecostal Young People's Union or something. I don't remember what the U stood for. But we used to write sketches and doing talent shows in church. And I used to remember like I was merging church and the world at that time. Because I was Goliath, and before my brother threw the slingshot at me, I was like, can't touch this. And I was like, because Hammer was popping. So I was doing, oh, and the church, like, there was only like 20 people there, but they was laughing. And when he hit me, I hit my knees and I fell and I bust my lip. Like I was that committed. I was like, Goliath, if he died when he fell, he wouldn't have been able to catch his fall. Like I had that thought at like 6. I was like, so I have to fall face forward. That'll get a good reaction. When I tell you I hit the carpet was like a thin layer of carpet and then full concrete underneath. Bust my lip gash, blood pouring on my church shirt. But I didn't care. Cause they were like, oh, but it wasn't like cheering. It was just like, whoa, like, why would you fall that hard? But the reaction was a reaction for me. So I think along the way, I just felt like I got something. I learned to play instruments just so I could perform. I'll play the drums. I learned how to play the bass because I just want to be in front of people performing. But yeah, I'm not one of those comedians. A lot of comedians are like, comedy comes from darkness, and when I'm out on stage, I'd be like, bro, y'all, that ain't my testimony. I have a very good life. I laugh because I'm having a good time, then I go on stage to have a better time. I don't come back into the darkness, and I don't be depressed and like alone. I'm not a loner like that. I think comedy for me comes from joy.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Plenty of joy. It just like comes out of me.
You know comedy. Like you bring up young comics, you develop talent and all that stuff. Your church background and being funny in the church, can you look back on that and know that that's even harder? Because I've done some sets. I had a comedy tour. And then people come up to me and be like, hey, Chan, man, can you give us 20 clean? What you mean clean? Bro, I was about to cuss right now. That shit is hard. Like, oh, so no cuss words. Yeah. Like, you were doing a harder part of comedy when you were starting. You think that developed you to a different level now that you can look back in retrospect?
I think it was very helpful because I didn't cuss. I still really don't cuss like that for real. But at that time, I didn't cuss at all. Like, I thought that was such a huge sin. I was taught that was a huge sin. And I realized when I got to comedy clubs, cuss words are funny. Like, it's a good accent. If you're bombing, you could cuss, and it'll get you out of the hole a little bit. So when you don't have that, you really gotta be funny. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to be funny where it's like, oh, he's funny for a clean comedian. Like, my goal was to be like, Sinbad was the bar. Sinbad was so funny, people didn't even notice he didn't cuss. That's not why you liked him. It was just like, man, I love Sinbad. And then when you're leaving the show, you're like, I don't even remember, did he cuss? Like, that was my goal. But yes, to answer your question, I think it was really helpful because you really had to sharpen every tool in your repertoire because cussing, it can be seasoned. It can be paprika. It could be, it's very useful in comedy. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes just being really blue, sex jokes can be funny and stuff like that. And for the record, with my cleanness, I still talk about everything. I just don't cuss. But I talk about sex, eating coochie. I talk about eating coochie all the time. It's one of my favorite things to do. I really enjoy it. I have
a question. Coochie. Is the talking about eating coochie is what you enjoy doing?
Eating coochie is what I really enjoy. Talking about it, I enjoy that as well. But I really like coochie.
I like the honesty. Hell with y'all.
Because I feel like church people we don't keep it 1,000. Yeah. You got to be eating that cat.
Yes.
Because I don't know how some stats like 85% of women can't orgasm from just peeing and vagine.
Okay.
So you got to go touch that doorknob. You got to ring that doorbell.
You got to go find it.
You got to find it.
You got to go find it.
You got to go and say hello to it. Give it a look at.
And the thing is, you've been with your old lady so long, it's been the same doorknob your whole life.
And this is what I'm so glad y'all are sports. I've been trying to use this analogy for years and people don't get it. Imagine having the same offensive coordinator for 21 years. We locked in.
Can't help but score.
I can't help but score. I got the hot raps, game plan. We on the same page. I know this coochie. Right. I know this coochie well. I know ins and outs. And it goes both ways. We got the same OC, same head coach. We locked in. She
Right.
know me. We ain't got to be here all day. She know up, left, down.
Y'all
A, B,
working
star.
together.
We working together so we can go to bed.
Okay, we'll stay with the analogy though. Married 20 years. You don't want to run that zone every single night.
Absolutely. If I go zone read and it get me 7 yards on first down, I want to get to 2nd and 3. If you don't stop it, get me into 2nd and 3. I want to get up the field. Why would I stop that zone read?
He know better. He's a linebacker.
Listen, a little,
Run it till they
a
can't
little
stop
flea
it.
flicker, every night, little sex swing.
Hey, Chan, he been doing the flea flicker. That's what that's it. The man
We
just
run a
said
play.
his
We run a
favorite
flea
play.
flicker here and there. We run a little reverse. You know what I mean? Naked bootleg. But at the end of the day, you got to know your identity,
zone
baby.
read is
We
where it
go in
is.
zone read.
Bro, y'all gotta
Play
stop.
action.
Fred, ask this man a different question, bro. I'm sweating, man.
I'm gonna go to my thing, my zone buster. We in the 2-minute offense. We ain't got time for this stuff. We gotta get to the red zone. We gotta score. I don't have time. All that stuff is good in training camp,
Right.
preseason. We up by 30.
It all comes back to purpose and passion. We talking about, you did mention purpose and
I
passion.
got serious.
Yeah.
That's what
You
it
gotta
is.
get off the Gucci talk. Purpose and passion, Fred.
Talking
right,
about a lot of
right
P
to it.
words. Let's go to some other ones.
But no, it's still on the same line though, because I just want to ask about you and Melissa been together. You said since you were 16.
16. I'm
Right.
42 now.
Right. So you've done so many things together.
Yeah.
The move from Boeing to chase the funny, what
Yep.
RC asked you, kind of take us into that, like to be able to go and chase all of this and land to where you are now. Just the thought process in making such a leap.
Boeing was a really weird time in my life because prior to that, I got fired from my last job. I was working at the bank. I was a terrible employee because I was no longer motivated, right? At Bank of America, I was very motivated. I was South Sound Seller of the Quarter. This was before the housing crisis of 2008. So most people don't know that personal bankers, at least at Bank of America, we were salesmen. The customer doesn't know that. It's my job to sell you checking account, savings account, auto loans, home loans, business loans, all that type of stuff. The better I do at that, the more I get paid. So I have my salary and then I get bonuses. So for 2-3 years, it's great money. For me, $5,000, $6,000 bonuses at that time, when I was like 24, $5,000 is crazy. We going on a cruise. Now, we only stayed in the interior stateroom, but like, we in here.
I ain't got nowhere
You know
to
what I'm saying? I ain't got nowhere to go. I ain't got to go. I don't even know what those rooms look like. I'm like, they bring you room service to 24 hours? I couldn't believe it, right? I could order cookies at 2 a.m. They brought that to me. I was ecstatic. So fast forward to Boeing, I'm coming off a job that I got fired from, and I'm like, okay, I can never be funny. I don't even want these people to know who I am. And at that time, I was still making YouTube videos, but I kept that comedy part of my life separate because I was like, I cannot get fired again. I gotta keep this good job. I was making $55,000. Like, this is it. Melissa was working at Boeing at the same time. Our kids are in private school. They got iPads on their desk. To most people, we made it. So I'm making YouTube videos because that was what fulfilled me. I hated every second of every day of Boeing from my first day to my last day. And was actually worse, that job was really easy and it didn't take a lot of time. Of a 4-week month, 2 weeks, I would have maybe 4 to 8 hours of real work I had to do. That's it. Like, that's how efficient, and this is really a testament to how efficient Boeing is. Like, the company was running like this. Like, you couldn't mess it up, right? So other 2 weeks, I have literally no work to do. Like, none. So I'm watching YouTube, understanding how this works, seeing how people get paid, like studying. Made a YouTube video, my son growing up black, where I told him what to say. He repeated me, I edited, jump cut it, put it out, and he went viral. 1 million views on the front page of Yahoo when that used to be a big thing. Like, that was like, oh my God, you're on the front page of Yahoo or MSN. So we made a couple more videos like that, and he went viral, and we get, my homeboy lived in LA, and he's like, yo, Kev, they're looking for your son to be in a movie. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, agents are trying to find who your son's rep by because they're trying to do this Little Rascals reboot, and they need a buckwheat. They got all the other kids cast, but they can't find a good buckwheat. So my son had a little manager at the time because they made these YouTube videos. Long story short, he books the role. I go on FMLA from Boeing, and I come to live in LA for 2 months. And I remember very specifically the moment I realized I can't continue this life at Boeing. First day on set, we're on the Universal lot. At that time, Desperate Housewives had shot on this street. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. These are all these set houses. This is wild. And I remember we were shooting Little Rascals. They had a really expensive camera. They were shooting one camera at a time. And what would happen is we focus on you. When they turn around to me, they'd be like, all right, we're gonna pause y'all. We're gonna flip the world, which just means they're gonna put the camera on the other side and shoot my side. But they gotta move all the lights over here. And I saw the sound man and he took his boom pole and he put it in his cart, and he put his little rig on his cart. He pulled out his phone, called his wife, was like, yeah, we're on break right now, they're flipping the world, blah, 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 house dinner, blah, 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 whatever, what's for lunch? Okay, I'm gonna pick this up on the way home. Hung up with her, and he started playing Candy Crush on his phone. And I was like, this is this man's job. Like, he's just making movies, and it's so mundane that he's doing the same thing I did at Boeing. When I get on my lunch break, I would call Melissa, play a game on my phone, take 30 minutes, and then go to work. And it just was mind-boggling to me that this was his everyday job. He just does this for a living. I called Melissa that day, and I was like, I'm not gonna be able to live in Washington. Like, we gotta find a way to move here. And she was like, I knew this was coming. She was like, I just knew you would eventually do this. So I presented a plan to her, like, here's how we're gonna do it. Like, as a man of the house, God-fearing man, I had Bible scriptures. It was called, it's still in my phone today, Fredericks Family Manifest Destiny. And I had a point for everything we needed to do. Here's where the boys are gonna go to school. Here's where you're gonna work or can work. Here's where I can work. Here's the neighborhoods. I'm doing research. Here's what we're gonna do with our house. Here's the church we're gonna go to. Like, I presented all this plan. Not a great plan all the way through and through. For the house, for example, I was like, let it go to foreclosure. Who cares? We're gonna go to LA, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna buy a house in cash. And she was like, or we could rent it out. And I was like, that is a good idea. Because we were upside down at that time.
Help me.
Yeah, help me. So our house was like 180 at the time, and it was only worth 140. And we had a 0% loan, so we didn't have no equity. So if we sold it, we had to give the bank $40,000, which we did not have. So now the house is well north of what we paid for it, plus a time. And that's just her being smarter than I was and not being ambition forward. Like, I'm ambition driven. I don't care, I'm gonna make it make sense. So we sat down, went point by point by point. She had her points. Apartment, I was like, here's where we can live for $1,500. And she was like, I'm not living nowhere if we don't have a washer and dryer in the unit. And I was like, come on, girl. You know how much more they charge for that? I was like, what if there's across the hallway? Because there's one that's like across. She was like, no. We have small kids. If they pee in the bed or they throw up, I'm not walking nowhere. And I was like, okay, bet. So we ended up having to pay, I think our mortgage was $1,100 at the time at our home in Washington, which we owned. And then the rent here was $2,300 in a smaller place. But it had a washer and dryer. Like, we went through piece by piece and made the plan. And we gave up the 2 good jobs, good income, health benefits, all that stuff. And I remember when we first got here, Kobe was about to retire. He didn't announce it yet. And I was like, we got to go to a Lakers game. And she was like, are you crazy? We don't have Lakers game money. I was like, we can sit high. So he spent like $300 to see Kobe. And he was like, he had a game-winning shot. It was great. And I ain't go to a Lakers game for like 8 years after that. We did not have Laker attendance money. But it was cool because I presented a plan to her, and then we worked it out all the way through and through. And it was like tough. We didn't have no fun stuff to do. It was a lot of parks. We took the boys to the parks, a lot of playgrounds. We didn't have a lot of money for anything. We went to dollar movies, stuff like that. But because we were on the same page, she was never like, I told you so. And I was never like, you never let me do my thing. Like, we was always lined up. And I think that's what took me from Boeing to LA. And this was just like, nothing I've ever done has been like to flex. It's just been like a necessary need. So when we got this soundstage, we did our app and we were paying so much in location fees. We were like, man, if we just had our own place, we could be more efficient and we could shoot more and we'll actually save money on locations because locations can get really expensive and you have to go a day ahead to set up and all that type of stuff. And by the grace of God, we had the pandemic, not the grace of God that we had a pandemic, but the pandemic had a lot of businesses shuttering. So we got this place for much cheaper than we would have before, and it's not gonna be much cheaper for anymore. Once this lease is up, the regular pricing is back, and we will be gone. Amen.
I have a question for you, man. Like, marriage be hard.
Marriage be hard. New York Times bestseller.
It's a book.
Yeah.
New York Times bestseller. You cry a lot. Like if you go down a KevOnStage, like, video wormhole, it's a lot of crying. It's a lot of laughing too. Yeah. It's a lot of crying. Yeah. One of the topics I've seen you cry on is speaking about your wife and her ability to allow you to be vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, we've kind of come into this space where we've created a space where men have those conversations, especially black men. But I often wonder, like, how you knew how valuable that was being with Melissa for so long, right? Because it's like, when you date, other women, and then you find a woman when you're 24, you're like, man, I've had all of these other things happen. I was vulnerable in front of this woman. She didn't accept me, and I didn't like that feeling, and now I have a woman that does it. With growing up with a dad who didn't show a lot of emotions, how did you find the value in Melissa allowing you to be all those different forms of yourself?
I'm very grateful that I don't have a lot of those experiences. I wasn't vulnerable with her early on. Like most men, and black men especially, we taught like strength is, you know, we are men. We don't cry. We'll figure it out. Like we gut it out. You know, you guys are athletes, especially football players. Like next man up, injuries, like you got to play through it. Like that, playing sports, that applies. You like make that a part of yourself in your feelings and your emotions as well. With her, I wasn't vulnerable early on. And I remember, this is probably maybe 10, 12 years into our marriage, she didn't have the right words for vulnerability, and it wasn't a buzzword as much as it is now. But she was like, we don't talk enough. And our conversations aren't deep. And I was like, we talk all the time. But we later, like through a couple months, I realized she was like, you're not vulnerable with me. And I was like, man, I tell you when I'm scared, like I'm not vulnerable, I'm vulnerable. I thought I was, but I really wasn't. And she was like, you never share any fears with me ever. And I was like, at that moment, I realized I never share fears with you because I don't share fears with myself. I don't acknowledge something can go wrong because to me, that was giving power to it. And when I'm scared, it's like, well, I can't share it with my wife because she's gonna think I'm weak. She's gonna think I ain't the real man, stuff like that. So we just internalize a lot of stuff, and that's what I was doing. And she was like, I don't think we can continue on this path with you not sharing. Like, I need to know your fears and your excitement. I need to know what makes you afraid, what makes you happy, stuff like that. So I saw this on Twitter. They said most men will not be vulnerable with you in increments. They're gonna be really vulnerable one time, and they're gonna see what you do with that. And if you honor and respect that, they'll continue. If you ever throw that in their face, they will never be vulnerable again. So I did my one. I did my big vulnerability moment, and then I waited for a couple weeks.
What was your one vulnerability moment?
I think at that time, we were living in Reseda, and it was just like a small little house that was kind of run down. We had like legitimately had bees in our house. Like there somehow got a beehive in our house, and I couldn't figure out how to get it out. And didn't really have the money to get an animal control person to come out. So we would just have like bees coming out of the light fixtures at times. It was somewhere in the closet, and I was just feeling like, man, the stuff that I'm trying to do, it ain't doing it. Like I got a job, I worked at All Def at the time, and that job, it was a very dog-eat-dog world. Like people vying for each other's jobs, people getting fired, people getting laid off. So I was like, man, if I get laid off, I wasn't gonna get fired because I was good. I mean, I could have got fired because there was like a lot of jockeying for position. Like you have a project and executive team wants you out, they'll use this project doing bad as leverage, right? But even if they didn't give you all the resources to do it well. So that was happening to me. So I told her, I said, man, because I would come home, oh, work was great, here's a funny video we made, but I never shared with her, I'm afraid they're trying to fire me, these people are vying for my job, I might get laid off. So I share with her like, it's kind of toxic here at times, I might get laid off, I'm afraid if I get laid off, what skills will I have? I can't go back to work at the bank because banks here, you had to be fluent in Spanish to even apply because it's a heavily Hispanic populated area. So I knew I couldn't go back to that. Boeing out here, they don't hire that much. So I'm like, if I lose this job, I don't even know what I'll do, and it's too expensive. And it was my idea to bring us here. So I was starting to feel like maybe I made a mistake, but where do we go? Can't go back to Washington, can't stay here. I don't know where we're gonna go live with my parents if this doesn't work out. So I shared all that with her. Like, I'm afraid this might not have been working. And then I waited for our next argument for her to be like, see, I told you. Like, I was waiting for her to throw it in my face in some other form. When I made a mistake, if I slipped up, if we arguing, and she never did. Like, so once I realized, oh, maybe I am safe with her, then I was able to be more vulnerable with her. And I think that helped when my brother passed away, the grieving process, and even the process of planning a funeral, because my brother passed away, and for whatever reason, my family, including my parents and grandparents, they're all looking at me to plan the funeral. And I'm like, I've only been to 3 funerals at that time in my life. I haven't planned any. I don't know the first thing about funerals outside of going. Yeah. Bro, I'm calling for autopsies. I'm calling funeral homes. I'm checking prices. I didn't realize funeral people are salesmen too. I didn't realize that until I got, because I know a salesman. Yeah, I remember I walked in and they was like, I'll never forget this. They was like, oh man, we are so sorry for your loss, man. We got to look at the caskets and stuff. Now, we could put you in this. We could put you in this. It's non-gasketed though. And I was like, what does that mean? It was like, oh, that just means it ain't really sealed really well. The nature's gonna get in there, water, bugs. They gonna be in your brother's eyes and stuff. I said, hey, what? What are you talking about? Why would you even sell that? I was like, what are my other options? Oh, we got the gasketed options. They opened another door. We got the Cadillac of coffins. They said that. We got the Cadillac of coffins. I said, well, you got to put my brother in the caddy? Why you ain't leading to the
That's
caddy,
really
man?
black too, though. They go caddy first.
Got to go caddy first, brother. This thing is platinum. I said, put my baby in there, man. Get him all white on the interior, right? So, but me and Melissa are doing that together. Like, I'm calling the funeral home. She's calling the autopsy place. I'm booking flights. She's booking hotel for the family. Like, we really in there. And then at the end of the day, I'm falling apart in her arms, like, because I still got to deal with the fact that he passed away and plan the funeral, and I got shows in a few weeks. Like, I'm dealing with all that type of stuff, and I gotta pay for all this, which is a burden in and of itself. So I'm probably broke down every single day for the whole week we're in Houston. Wow. And it's so interesting, every time I fly to that airport through IAH, every time I get to the baggage claim, it feels like it's happening all over again, because we found out on the plane, and when we landed, we called my kids, and it was like the rental car facility, we called my kids, so all that stuff holds those same emotions. So I'm like, I need to fly through Hobby or like, I'm gonna have to go Spirit or Southwest to go through Hobby, because this is crazy. But I think to answer your question in a shorter way, she asked for my vulnerability and then she treated it with respect. And because she did that, I gave her more. And now that I know she'll never weaponize it, I'm allowed to tell her more things, and it's still even really hard, but I'm allowed to tell her like I miss you. I realized in therapy, it was very hard for me to say, I miss you. What I would do is be like, okay, can you come to the Atlanta show when I'm on tour? Come to the Atlanta show. And she would come, most of the time when I asked, she would come. And one time she was coming and then she got a brand deal. So she's like, hey, Kev, I'm not gonna be able to make it. I got a brand deal. It was a good amount of money. So I was like, oh, cool, no problem. So she didn't come. And I had brunch, I had a spa, I had lunch. I was looking forward to it. And when she said she couldn't come, I realized I didn't have the safety to tell her I was really looking forward to that. I missed you, I haven't seen you. It took me going to therapy with her to realize that's how I felt. I felt like as a man, I was like, you can't really say I miss you to a girl, like, to your girl. Like, come on, nigga, what you talking about? You miss me.
I live with you.
Yeah, like, tighten up, nigga. What you talking about? You miss me, nigga. What you talking about? You playing a brunch, nigga? I ain't hungry. Like, and that's not in my wife's temperament. But in my mind, she's gonna become a hood girl smoking Newports. Like, nigga, you miss me? Nigga, you soft. Like, she don't even talk that way. Yeah. But in my mind, if I were to say that, I feel like that's how it was gonna happen. So now we've been able to work through those things where I can let her know, hey, this one really means a lot to me. I've been on the road for 6 weeks. It'll mean a lot to me if you're able to make this one, and that type of stuff. Where in the past, I just would like internalize that, or even get mad at her for not coming, but not even tell her how it really made me feel. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a lot of learning and relearning.
Through the bad decisions you were making, through having to prove it,
That's true.
You and your wife making 6 figures. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
your kid, your kids are comfortable,
Yeah.
but you making them decisions. You bring up the fact that you say you making $55,000, $5,000, bonuses and all. So money was a motivator. But if you was good financially, why would you keep pushing? Did you want fame? Did you want money? Did you want notoriety? Like, what's pushing you then and what's still pushing you now?
You know what? It's definitely not fame. Notoriety probably, but like for me, it was, I just wanted to do what I wanted to do for a living. Like, to me, if I'm gonna have to do this every day, you couldn't pay me to do something I don't wanna do. Like, Boeing was paying me $55,000 a year, but I hated that job. They couldn't have gave me 300 grand, 400 grand, because I felt every second of every day. And it was like money, there's not enough money for me to not feel bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, I'll take less money to do what I love. Right. And I think for me, it was like, I feel like this is what I'm good at. This is what I'm purposed with. I will make less and feel more fulfilled. Because I grew up poor, and I feel like this is where being poor was an advantage for me. We didn't have a lot of money, so we weren't driven by it. Like we had a lot of fun. I never felt poor. We had TV, we watched Star Search, we played Uno, we played games, me and my brother played sports, we played outside. Like all my childhood was fun. Like now we had, we was on government assistance, we had peanut butter with oil, but if everybody in your neighborhood's on that, you don't feel no different. Like my homeboy, he got the Ninja Turtles blend, but that's like, this is crazy, y'all got bread. But I get to play with it. Like I get to go over your house, I get to have the Turtles when I'm with you. Now when I get to my house, I got Karate Man. Karate Man ain't got no cartoon, no commercials, and he don't bend. My toys are here. You got the blend with every turtle. Yeah. But I never felt like I missed out on anything. And I think because I didn't have a lot of money, but I had joy, I wanted that feeling versus the money. So I was able to leave, we made $100,000 together in Boeing. We came to LA, we didn't crack $100,000 for some years. And even when we did get back over there, the cost of living was so high, it didn't feel like that. But for me, I think it was just like, I wanted to use my talents and my gifts. I wanted to excel, and money is a result of what I got, but it's not the reason that I do stuff. Like I still turn stuff down. Like I've been on the road. I started this year on the road on January 1st. Went on tour for 6 months straight, took 2 months off, and then went on tour again for 3 months. So in December, as we shoot this, I'm like, I gotta spend time with my family and recalibrate. Brother, as soon as I said that, they throwing money at me. They're like, brother, y'all heard what I just said to myself?
And to yourself.
To myself. And I looked at my wife, she was like, you kind of wild for turning this down. Like, I miss you, but you be right back on Sunday morning, brother. And you gonna take out the first part of next year, bro? Get that little check and come on back with us. We gonna be right here.
Fine.
But I think for me, money couldn't motivate me because if you're led by money, your morals will be second. And this industry, in this city specifically, they'll give you money, but they won't make you have morals. And for me, I'm led by morals first, and then money is a byproduct. But fame is not fun. Like, I thought it would be, and I desired it, but I don't think I knew what I was getting into. Mostly negative results. One positive is you get to sell tickets, but it comes with a lot of negativity, and I wish I could be doing what I want without having to be famous, because it'd be whack a lot of times. Most of the times it'd be whack.
Talking about morals, that goes back to Cat Williams.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't putting on no dress.
Right.
I'm not doing this, I ain't doing that. Kev, it seems like you, when it comes to Melissa and marriage and all of that, it seems like you create issues.
What you mean?
Before, like, you weren't trusting yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you created these things that you thought she would kind of push back on.
Yes.
Which is why you didn't want to approach her with them.
Yes.
You also said the fear of failure is sometimes worse than the failure itself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Channing said you made a lot of bad decisions. Possibly, but that leans into your next book, Successful Failures.
Yes.
Right? Are those bad decisions, or is it a successful failure? Kind of tell us what a successful failure is.
I think they are bad decisions, but I think you learn from them. I think for me, to answer your questions, yes, for Melissa, I've made a lot of situations worse and pre-made things bad, for sure.
Successful failure?
Yes, successful failure. I did what I thought was right in the moment, and it ended up not being right, and I learned not to do that moving forward, right? And I'm so glad I could talk to athletes, because I use sports analogies all the time, and people be like, man, shut up with that. But I used this one before. It's like, throwing interceptions helps teach you to throw touchdowns. Because you realize, oh, if I don't hold the safety, if I don't do this, whatever, if I misread the coverage, I thought that linebacker was blitzing, now he's dropping back. What I thought was open is now a pick. So now the next time you've thrown that pick, and you go down, you're looking at the tablet, and they showing to you, see when he did that? So the next time that happens, you're like, okay, I recognize that now. Now he's dropping back. Now I can hold him here and go over the top, or whatever that is.
Right.
I think life a lot is like that. People don't want to do anything, so they don't even throw the ball. They don't even join the game. They don't try out for the team because they don't want to throw an interception. But you can't win without losing. Like, no basketball player's ever made every single shot. Nobody wins a championship every single season. Nobody wins the MVP every single season. We all fail consistently and constantly. And the more you try, the more you fail. For me, I've always thought about, this is a little morbid, but it's true. I've always thought about, on my deathbed, I don't want to be sitting there thinking, knowing I don't have no more time left to do anything, thinking, I wish I would have tried this, or at least went after it, or at least open the business or audition for the movie, because I can live with not making it. I'm totally fine with that. I wanted to go to the NBA. I tried out for, I didn't even get no D1 offers looks, D2 offers looks, D3 offers looks. My coach was like, yeah, Pine Valley Community College is looking for some players. I can set up a tryout for you. Boy, when I tell you I went out there, this college in the middle of nowhere, dorms, there were about eight people. These white boys with beards cooked me so bad. I'm talking about, I'm trying to guard a point guard, white boy, 5'5", strong as hell. I mean, I can't guard him. I can't drop back off him. He crossed, snatching it, hitting me with three, pushing me off, ripping me. I'm like, okay, let me go guard a big, because this white boy killing me. I don't know why he's at this college. Clearly, he's in the wrong college. So I'm like, let me go guard this big. He ain't dunked before this moment. As soon as I switch off to him, they throw this nigga lobs, another white boy. He catching lobs off the backboard. When I tell you, I kid you not, the coach pulled me that I was trying out for, was like, sit on the bench. I sat there and did this. Untied my shoes, took them off, set them on the bench next to me, and I was like, this is the end for me.
That's it.
This is where basketball as a competitive thing ends. It's over. Ain't no NBA, ain't no G League, ain't no France, ain't no nothing. No one's gonna give you money to play basketball. You can play for fun with your friends, you can play at church. This is it. And I'm fine with that. I ended up going to the University of Washington, where Nate Robinson was there, Will Conroy, Brandon Roy. They were there when I was in college. So when I'm seeing the team, I'm like, you made the right choice, Kev.
Clearly you ain't them.
Clearly. And I went to intramurals. I'm playing against a UW women's team. These girls, it's the white boy all over again. This girl was 5'3". I'm talking about, I can't guard her. She is fast as hell. She's shooting from deep. I said, boy, you was, and I went to my dorm happy because I know I went as far as I could go.
Yeah.
But if I didn't even try, I wouldn't know where the end was. So for me, it's like, try, fail, learn. Like, the reason I have a TV show on BET is because I had an app that was failing that I was trying to save. So I did Churchy because the app that we built, we were like, man, people would do it, it would go up, the numbers would go up and go down. So I was like, I need my Game of Thrones. I need to spend a lot of money and get something that people would like join for. So I spent a lot of money for me, like a lot. This time I had my wife on board with the amount of money, not how I did everything else. I made some mistakes still there, but we was at least on board. We put it up on the app. It's the #1 show on our app, numbers through the roof, but the second week, people dropped out. Like, that's just how it went for us. People, and I don't think it was us, it was just time, finances. People would turn it on, watch a free trial, watch the first episode, wait for all the episodes to come on, and then turn it back on when all 8 episodes were there and watch it all, or share passwords.
Right.
So we're not getting our money back because we're not getting, everybody who's watching it is not paying for it. So it failed. Like, the app failed, Churchy was watched, people loved it, but it didn't go anywhere. So I moved on with my life. I was like, I tried, I didn't make it, I failed. Like, a year later, an executive for Spring Hill hit me up and was like, yo, me and my wife were watching Churchy on our break. Yo, this is fantastic. I think I might be able to sell this to a TV network. And I was like, really? Because I had pitched it prior to making it, and nobody would buy it. I got told over and over again, we don't think anybody in Middle America is gonna get it, which is low-key code for like, white people ain't
not gonna like it.
And if enough white people ain't gonna watch it, they don't wanna spend the bread. But I was like, bro, there's a lot of black people in Middle America too. Chicago's in Middle America, Kansas City, St. Louis, that's Middle America, there's black people everywhere. But nobody bought it. But because I actually made it, even though it didn't do anything for the app, didn't save it, didn't bring enough new subscribers, didn't do any of the things I thought it would do, was a massive loss. It was a proof of, not even proof of concept, it was a completion. Yeah. Like, somebody, not only did you have it, it proved you can make TV by yourself. Like, and they could see, like, executives know you don't have no, like, they know what production value is, but they're like, I see the vision, and they bought it. Like, I have a TV show because of a massive failure this show was, and the app was not a massive failure, but it wasn't a success like I wanted it to be. And then season 1 begot season 2, and now I know how to make things cheaper and smarter. So now I have 2 separate TV shows only because of the massive mistake I made.
That's awesome.
Betting on Churchy.
You said try, fail, learn.
Yes.
If that's the progression,
yes.
You can't regret anything then.
Not at all.
You don't regret any decisions you've made.
I regret the decisions, but I feel like I made them with the knowledge I had at the time and the person I was at the time. But now I've learned, like for Churchy, I lost a couple $100,000.
You don't gotta hide it. You know,
Yeah.
you got bread now. I don't know if you're being secret for the camera.
You know, I don't want black people counting pockets. Yeah, you know how it be.
I'm the pocket counter.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know how it
net
be.
worth? I got you locked in.
But my wife had told me, we were producing a show, and my wife had told me we should handle the production accounting. We didn't have an experience doing that. But my wife was an assistant manager at a bank. She was in logistics. She had the skill set. But the person was like, no, I got it, Kev. Like, this is how it usually works. And that is how it usually worked. But my wife was like, I don't have a good feeling about this. We should keep it in-house. I was like, it's gonna be cool. I did not listen to her. And it was not cool. And that money was gone. Yeah. And I never got it back. So from that moment on, and forevermore, I will never let the financing go from us. We will always be in charge of the bread. Yeah. And I think that was a valuable lesson to learn at the couple $100,000 mark and not the $1 million mark. Because now you messing with network money. Like with BT, they allowed us to physically produce that show. That is unheard of. And I realized that you can see $1 million go by in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, when you gotta pay payroll, vendors, insurance, cam rentals, all that type of stuff. That money was passing through. If I have somebody I don't trust and that money's gone, we're on the hook. Like the way our deal worked, if we went under budget, great. If we go over budget, it's on us. If we go under budget, we got to split it with the network because it's their money. You can't just keep our bread. Nothing ever goes under budget like that, but we was right there. So I think I learned both how to be smarter, how to handle this, and I learned what I needed to learn right before I had to know it. But I also think try, learn, fail, I don't need to make the mistakes personally. I can learn from your mistakes. I don't need to make them all. A smart person learns from their mistakes. A wise person learns from the mistakes of others. Yeah. So I had done a lot of good things, but I didn't do everything. But also I give myself a little grace because it's not like my parents did this. I didn't have anybody who could walk me through this. There was no blueprint to follow. Like, I'm just trying to do what I know to do, but this is a business I don't know well. So you have to make some mistakes to learn because there's not a blueprint to follow. You know what I'm saying? So the world is constantly changing. So to answer you, it's like, yes, try, learn, fail, try again. And I'm certain I'll fail with other stuff. I'll certain businesses that I'll try, I should fail. That means I should at least be trying to do things and enjoy my life and taking risks, which is what I want to do. My next comedy set is going to be something I've never done before. And I don't know how it's going to go. But that's the exciting part for me. Like, for me, it's like, even if it was gonna be good, like, okay, back to my wife again, I know I'm rambling. My wife called me out in a way that I just never expected. I did a church tour this past tour, and a good portion of the jokes were jokes that I'd done when I was 16. Like, at that time, all I knew was church. And it was great. People had never seen these jokes before, so I was like, I'm gonna run that back again. I got, churches is cool, I could do this again. And my wife was like, nah, man. I was like, what you mean, nah? Girl, we made good money, we did it. She was like, you're better than that. Like, you can go into the lab, write something brand new, fresh, and push yourself to be better.
I love that.
You're taking the easy way out. And she's like, if you do, I was like, what you mean? What about this tour? She was like, I felt like that with this, but I let you rock. But I'm not gonna let you rock 2 years in a row. She was like, them jokes is older than your kids, Kev. Like, watch out, man. Like, she really took me to task. She was like, take 3 months off, take 6 months off, however long, take a year off if you need, but go in there and do what you're built to do. She was like, because we had done a show together and a comedian had stepped on my joke. He didn't know, it wasn't his fault. He just did a joke that was similar to what I was doing. And she was like, that shouldn't even be a problem for you because you've been doing that joke since 2000. You shouldn't even be doing that joke no more. That tells you other people have thought of it, do something else. So I really had to be like, dang, she really challenged me to be better in a way of like, I love you, I believe in you, I know you are capable of this. So it's like, that to me is now the most exciting thing I'm about to do because I don't know if it's gonna be good or not.
Kev, we got to see him do his set, right? Stand up, hilarious. And it was one of those things, we knew a lot of the jokes because we've had the conversation, but it was still funny as hell.
Yeah.
I just watched him with a level of fear for being his friend because I wanted everybody to laugh at his jokes and think they were as funny as I thought they were. Right? You mentioned try, fail, learn, all those things, Gayle King is like our homie.
Yes.
Right? Like Gayle King is like, she's the queen to me. Like I just love,
Yeah.
I love her. And she kept saying, I love that you said, you failed, but you're not a failure. You failed,
Yeah.
but you're not a failure. But you did bomb
Yeah.
in comedy competition. What did you learn from that? What was the lesson you take from that tells you, okay, I didn't do well here, but I can get better and this can be a career?
Yeah, I bombed at the Bay Area Black Comedy Competition. And the worst part is I bombed with my closer, which is like, that is my best joke. That is, at that time in my life, that joke was undefeated. I was known in Tacoma for it. It was a crusher. I learned a few things. One, Nate Jackson put me on. He put me on his show. He had a comedy club, and I was able to do 20 to 25 minutes every time. That's how I started comedy. That's not how it usually starts. Most people start 3 minutes, you get that good, then you go to 5, then you go to 7, 10, you build up. When you're doing a comedy competition, it's what they call showcase sets. So you gotta be having basically a tight 3 minutes. I had never done that before. So I still remember the joke I said first, and that's why I knew I was in rocky waters. I was in Oakland, and I was like, it was hilarious to me. They didn't like it at all. But I came out, I was like, man, I hope I do well, because I bought a one-way ticket, y'all.
Same reaction?
People was looking at me like, y'all, like, was that even a punchline? And when I tell you, I thought they was gonna be like, what? He gotta do well. So right there, it was like, oh, dang, okay. Whew. Just get a little. Next joke, I was like, you know how they be in Oakland, man. It's crazy. On mamas. Because that's Oakland slang.
Right.
Right? I said that. They was like, yeah, we heard it. 30 seconds gone. No laughs. So now I'm like, dang, so then I go way far to what I thought was gonna be my final set. Like when I'm in the finale,
You bring it up
I'm
now.
gonna bring this joke now, because I might not make it. I get them back on my side a little bit. I know I'm not doing well. So I used to do a joke where I would talk about R&B singers. If I could sing, I'd do R&B. And I used to be in Tacoma, and I would be, like, we had a live band at Nate's show. I would pour water on myself, take my shirt off. I would, like, do body rolls. It would crush. I skipped to that joke. I was like, man, I wish I was an R&B singer, man. If I could, I would sing good, man. It would be like this. And I started singing, took my shirt off, got some water, poured it on myself. Water was freezing. Like, shocked me. I was like, ooh, which is not part of the joke. I was just like, dang, this is really cold. And I'm looking down, because the stage is really high. I'm looking down at them, and this old black lady was just like, When I tell you I'm just standing there cold, wet, my tank top is soaked, and nobody laughed. And I went outside, put my shirt back on. My homeboys was there. All my homeboys saw me bomb. They was like, dang, I'm making eye contact with them while I'm bombing. I walked probably 2 miles straight in the Oakland night. Just like a Spike Lee shot. And I'm like, dang, I had never bombed when it mattered. I'd bombed before, but it was in a little coffee shop. I bombed at a step show at UW prior, but I never bombed when it mattered. I bombed in front of my friends, my colleagues, my wife, my homeboy, and it taught me, like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, you bomb. So what? You get up, all the comics after that was like, Kev, it's cool, man. We all bomb. You get up and you go after. I took like 6 months off from comedy. I was just like, I had a soul search. I felt like Batman when he got his back broke. Like, I gotta go find myself, man. I need to talk to Ra's al Ghul. I got to train, do some push-ups. But like, what I realized is you first stand up, you gotta know your audience. You gotta know what you're doing. You can't condense 20 minutes into 3 minutes. I should have been practicing for a 3-minute set. Those little hacky jokes, like if I don't make it, that's a hacky joke. I didn't even know what hacky was at the time. So, and what my homeboy said, he was like, bro, I've been coming here for years, people do that joke all the time. And everybody who comes to that comedy competition, a lot of them were repeat year after year, so they just heard that joke. It wasn't necessarily a bad joke, but in that world, it was a very old, kind of tired joke. I'd never done a comedy competition before. That was my first time. So I learned how to prepare I never did a comedy competition after that. I don't care. That's not the Lord's ministry for me. But I learned how to do one better. I probably would be better if I did one now. And I learned that bombing is not the worst thing. Okay, you bomb, whatever, you lose a comedy competition. What's the worst that can happen? I bombed before, I still bomb to this day. Because bombing for me now means I'm trying a new joke. The thing about stand-up that sucks is you actually don't know if it's a good joke until you say it.
Yeah.
Like if it's brand new to you and you didn't steal it, it's funny in your head, but you don't know until you try it on an audience.
Yeah, you talking about like stepping on a joke.
Yeah.
Some people call it stealing jokes.
Yeah.
Somebody told me I stole their joke before, and I'm like, bro, you can't steal a concept.
Right.
So
No.
to that point, bro, we're going back to Richard Pryor and Red Fox
Yes.
and them. It's a lot of funny things in this world.
For sure.
So, like, have you ever dealt with that, or do you ever have a joke or have a set, and then you just watching? Like I was watching, who got in the car wreck in the RV? Tracy
Morgan.
Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
So I have a joke about a physically impaired sexual experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never told it. And I'm watching Tracy's new special, and his closer is having a sexual experience with a physically impaired person. I'm like, damn, he stole my joke.
I have a question.
But he didn't steal my joke. He has the joke. It's a funny concept.
Yes.
He went into it. So, like, does that ever, what you got, brother?
Is it a joke if it really happened to you?
A comedian can tell you, yes, it is a joke if you tell a good story with
Yes,
it.
absolutely. Absolutely.
You tell a good story with it.
1000%.
It's a real thing. But that whole concept, because you get it, you've heard all the people talk about, yeah, he's joke stealing. They joke, he stole my joke, he stole this, stole that.
Yes.
I've heard a lot of comedians speak on that. How do you feel about that whole?
Yes, I agree with you. You can't steal a concept. We comedians are seeing the world similar to other comedians. We're not seeing the world to people who are not comedians, but a comedian can see something funny that another person might not see the humor in. But another comedian might see, I can see the humor in that. Yeah. We all watching the same BET Wars, for example. We seeing the same thing. I can make a joke. I've been accused of stealing jokes on Twitter. I'm just making an observation of what I saw. I don't see your tweet, but we could be making the same observations. 1 million people watching this and tweeting our thoughts at the same time. For me, what stealing a joke is if I know this is like if I went to your show and heard that joke, and that is not my experience, and I went and I said, okay, I haven't even had that experience, and I go tell that joke, I know that's a stolen joke, right? I know I heard that, or the joke is so unique that how did you even have that same concept, right? Like, that's where it gets a little murky. But for me, what I do to avoid that is I try to do my best to talk from my point of view and things that have happened to me or the way I see the world, and also turn over my material more often. Because even if I have been accused, like comedians, like I have a joke like that, we'll go up to each other and say, I have a joke like that. None of my jokes should be so important to me that I gotta fight over them. Yeah. And what I also did, I used to avoid church humor because I wanted to prove to comedians I could be funny like them. So the more I did that, the further away I got from what my strengths were. And I realized church humor I thought was a weakness of mine because I'm like, oh, I'm relying on church, but that is my experience. And when I realized a lot of comedians don't have this similar church experience that I have and are performing where I'm performing. So I leaned more into that, and people don't say, oh, he stole that church joke from me. Like, they just don't.
I don't have any.
You're not gonna have none. But like, for example, DC Young Fly, me and Teddy Ray all had the same exact joke. I'd never seen them perform it, never seen them. It was a simple joke, though. It was a joke I had when I was 16. It's a roundabout, like, black choirs give the easy part to men, right? If you sing Melodies from Heaven, the women get to say, rain down on us. Or sopranos, altos get let it fall. And men say, rain. That was my joke when I was like 17. I used it forever. Yeah. I seen Teddy Ray do that joke. I had never done it in LA. He had the same joke, same thing. DC Young Fly did a version of that. They didn't steal that from me. They both grew up in church and noticed the same thing. So we had the similar experience. They came to the same conclusion because they have the same comedic type of mind as I have. But to my wife's point, if you weren't doing a joke that you did when you were 16, you wouldn't even have this problem. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I turn my material over more so that doesn't happen as much.
I know we're about to close in a second. See, that's a church.
Yeah, that was good. That was good and churchy.
You like that? Good and churchy. I grew up in my name of my church was Regular Baptist Church.
It was literally called that?
It's called Regular Baptist. It's the end of your search for a friendly church. It's the slogan.
Regular Baptist Church?
Regular Baptist Church. My mom and my dad still go there.
Black and
Absolutely.
White. Black and white.
That is a unique name. I've never heard Regular Baptist
for sure.
Church.
Yeah, that's the name of my church. I wanted, and we kind of went around it when you said it. You mentioned how morals in Hollywood aren't necessarily something that's cohesive, right?
Yeah.
They don't go together. Have you ever come to a fork in the road where your morals and your opportunities didn't align and you had to make a decision that took you away from something that could have maybe boosted your career, but it wasn't or didn't sit right with the man that you are?
For sure. The most recent, my book was in Target. And black people were, by and large, boycotting Target. And Target's where I sold the most of my physical books the last time. So we were on a call with the publisher, and they're like, okay, so we're gonna have a Target end cap. Target's agreed to buy more books. We're gonna set you up to go to all these Targets. And I was like, I can't do that. And this white lady, I'll never forget, she was like, what? I was like, I can't do that. She was like, why? And I was like, well, the black community is boycotting Target. She was like, that'll probably be over by the time your book comes out. And I was like, 1, hopefully, but 2, I don't think so. And 3, I can't do that. She was like, man, come on. We might be able to get them to pay you, like all that stuff. And I was like, I can't, because I'm in community with black people. If we say we doing this, we doing it. I can't cross that line, because I'm gonna be black after this book comes out. I'm still gonna need my community, and if they feel like I, abandon them, because I'm in agreement with the boycott. It'd be different if I was like, I don't agree with this, I'm gonna do my thing. That's not how I felt. So that was one, that was the most recent, and I still made the New York Times bestseller list, which is only God.
Grace of God.
Because I'm like, there ain't no way. Because people would go in Target, like one fan drove from Everett, Washington to Olympia, Washington, the week my book was out, and bought all the books in all the Targets along I-5. Like, he had a car full of books. Wow. And he was like, this is how bad I wanted you to make it. So I don't want to lose that type of person, right? I remember when I was boycotting the NFL, this is during the Kaepernick protest, I was still boycotting. I was like, this is wrong, they blackballed him, all that type of stuff. I got an opportunity from the NFL. They were like, we want you to come to New York and be a part of the draft day. It was like draft or fantasy football, something. And it was well north of 6 figures. And I had not made that type of money on a brand deal. And this one I was living in the B house I was telling y'all about, where feeling like I'm not gonna make it. And that would have taken me 2 years at Boeing to make, 3 years at the bank at once. But I wasn't rocking with the NFL at the time. And I was like, nah, I can't do it. And when I tell you, they was like, all right, hung up the phone, and like the next day, another comedian was like, yep. And that week, he was in New York doing the deal. And no problem with them. And actually, the reason I have a beard is because of that morals. I had a brand deal with the shaving company, and they were like, this is a razor for black men with like 5 blades, and it's not gonna give you any razor bumps. So they paid me handsomely to do this brand deal, and I shaved my face. I had to shave my face with it. And I made the video. The same day I shaved my face was smooth, clean, perfect. By the time I sent them the video 2 or 3 days later, my face was razor bumps all over the place. And they were like, I mean, the video's still clear, so if you post it, we won't tell nobody if you don't tell nobody. We'll still pay you and everything. And I was like, man, nah. Because somebody trusts me. And there's a black man who's gonna trust my word. He's gonna get razor bumps, and I know that I'm lying. I know I'm lying. It'd be one thing if I didn't know.
Hey,
and it was a lot of
social media, they was gonna post a picture with their bumps. Like, Kev said this was cool.
1,000%. So I was like, I can't do it. And I turned down the money, and they were willing to pay me, and I was like, I won't be able to sleep at night doing that. So my wife and my brother, who was a barber before he passed, he was like, you gotta let it grow. Like, that's the only way. You gotta let it grow, and you gotta pick each individual hair out. And by the time, like, each hair grew, I had like a little bit of a beard. I didn't think I could even grow a beard. So then I just kept growing it, and it's this. And I look kind of whack without a beard. When I look back at myself, I'd be like, man, my wife, I don't know what she was thinking. I had like a little ducktail thing and a little terrible mustache. I look way better with a beard. Like,
Did you forgive your brother for passing while you were in the middle seat?
No. How dare you? How dare you die when I'm in coach? You knew you was gonna die, or you thought it. And I'm in 38B, and it was a 4-seater middle. Me and my wife were both in the middle, and there was 2 more seats. I almost didn't go. When I looked on the flights to Houston and first class was sold out, I was like, he'll probably be okay.
It's not funny, though.
It is funny.
I don't want to laugh at that.
Because how you gonna pass away? I'm in 37B? How dare you?
And you say the phone rang on the plane?
The phone rang on the plane. And my nephew was like, he's gone. And I had to go, excuse me. to get out and go cry in the bathroom. And that was 3 steps away from the bathroom in the back.
I'm not laughing.
How dare you, man?
That's not funny.
And he called me, I had a show in San Jose that night.
Bro, that's not funny.
No,
bro.
it is. It was sold out. I lost that bread, then had to pay for the funeral. If you knew he was gonna die, let me come the next day. When I can go take the first flight out in Houston, get me some breakfast on the plane. Come on, man, 37B, Chain. 37B.
He should have died for your comfort.
Yes. Or if I was in Comfort Plus, I would have been okay with Comfort Plus. Main cabin death? How you dying there? I'm in main cabin. I hadn't been in main cabin in years at that point. You got me in main cabin and you died anyway? If you live, fine. I made it. You died? I could have came anytime. I could have came 2 days later. I could have drove.
You know what, Kev? It's actually selfish of
It's
him.
really selfish. And he died the day after I made the New York Times bestseller list the first time. I found out that night, the next morning he died. I can't post about it now. I gotta post your funeral. I can't even tell nobody.
Bro, why do comedians, y'all find, black people make a joke out of every damn thing, dog.
Because I think that's all we had.
Do you need it?
I need it.
That's
I
how
don't
you-
know how I would have gotten through it,
Right.
or I would get through it if I didn't have it. If I was a painter, I would be painting hella to get through it. I think your art helps you process whatever it is, whatever your hobby, whatever your gift is, it would help you. For me, it's comedy, and I don't think it means I take it any less seriously. It is very serious. But he did die when I was in main cabin. He was very unserious. He knew better. He knew better.
Kev, I want to ask you, man.
Nah,
something we ask all of our guests, man. 'Cause you crazy. Your biggest pivot in life. That's that one moment you can look back on and say, because it happened to me or for me, I am, who I am today. Or maybe you can call it a successful failure. And y'all go get the book.
Yeah, get the
Successful
book.
Yeah,
Failure.
get the book.
Get the
Go
book.
check it out.
I'm the pivot master. I pivoted a lot of times. I'm trying to think of the single most one. I think I realized what it is.
Could be multiple.
Yeah, I think the first domino was pivoting from a traditional 9-to-5 and moving to LA. That was the biggest one, because without that, the rest doesn't even happen. But the smartest one was when I was being paid on tour. Me and 4 other church comedians were going on tour. We had a promoter. He took half of the money. He bought I think he rented the building. We were in charge of our flight and hotel. He rented the building and he took care of dinner at the show. And he kept half of the money, and me and the other 4 comedians split the other half. And I was making great money. $7-8 grand a show at that time. And I was like, and I was only doing 15 minutes, which is like unheard of. Yeah. So it was like, this is lucrative. I can see myself doing this. And I had a full-time job at the time. So like going on the weekends, coming home with 15 grand after 3 shows, almost 20 if we had really good shows, plus merch, like, bruh, like this is great. He made a mistake and he didn't know he made a mistake. We had 3 shows in Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio. Dallas and Houston were selling well, like really well. Traditionally, I've always sold well in Dallas and Houston, never sell well in San Antonio. If I ever make it in the world and I'm the biggest comedian in the world, I won't believe it until I sell well in San Antonio. So we're bombing in San Antonio. It's like 200-300 seats and the church holds like 1,200. He makes the mistake of showing us all the numbers. He was like, here's Houston, here's Dallas. If we could get Houston we could get San Antonio up to Houston and Dallas, look how much y'all make. Y'all might get 20 grand. And I saw the numbers in black, because I hadn't thought about it.
Right.
I was only thinking about what I was taking home and the fact that he gave me 6 grand, it cost me maybe 300 to 500 to get there. That's great, I'm still 6 grand to the positive. And I saw one show was like 70 grand, another was 60 grand. And I said, hold up. And you can't promote this without us. So you're telling me I'm already buying the plane ticket and the hotel. All you're doing is renting the venue and you're getting half and you don't gotta split it? I said, I don't even need to sell this many tickets if I get 100% of it.
Yep.
I don't need to sell 3,000-4,000. I could probably get more than I'm getting right now with 200 or 300. And I might be able to get a good deal from the churches. When I tell you, I thank God that we didn't sell well in San Antonio, because from that moment on, I said, this is my last tour by myself. The next January, I was on a 55-city tour on my own, the Real Comedians of Social Media tour, and we sold out some venues 200-300, and what I was making per show, I was now making that before the show was even halfway sold out. 100 tickets sold at $30. I got $3,000, and I could do this 3 or 4 times over, and this is a small venue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that pivot of betting on myself and taking on the risk, that's the other part though. I bet on myself, but I also assumed all his risk. Because if we didn't sell out, he took a loss, right? But now I gotta pay the comedians, I gotta pay for all the flights, all the hotels, for everybody. I gotta pay for everything. I worked a full-time job the whole time I was on tour, that tour. I worked Monday through Thursday at All Def, flew out Thursday night, did a show Friday, one city, flew or drove to the next city on Saturday, flew or drove to the next city on Sunday. Monday morning, flew back to LA, went straight to work for 10 months straight.
Wow.
Because that's what, I had to make sure we were good. If it failed, I had to use my job, I had health insurance, all that type of stuff. But that first tour was so lucrative that I was like, I don't have to do this job anymore. I now have money to fund stuff. Like live touring has been my #1 income since. And it's what I use to pay for Churchy, all that other stuff, and maybe be able to finance my own dreams and take my own risks. And that's why I am who I am today. Those 2 things, probably moving to LA and giving up that good job, both of us, and then taking that risk to be on tour, those were the biggest 2 dominoes to fall.
Man, I appreciate that, man. I met you in the line, waiting to take pictures at the BET Awards.
Yes.
I appreciate you
stood
returning.
in line too. We walked, more people famous than us.
Yeah, we just,
they
were walking right
us.
past us, dog.
Me and Ryan was
We
in
was
the
just
Six
chopping it
Flag
up.
line. They had fast pass. Young Miami, she got to go. She ain't got to wait. Young Miami said, I'm not waiting. They walked right. They bumped me and Ryan on the way.
Hey, we was just, that's how I got to know him. We was together so dang long. You know how you be in them Disney
like
lines?
an hour.
Yeah.
It was hot as crap out there. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But man, just spending that time with you though, just learning that you were a real dude. I just appreciate what you've been able to accomplish. And if you go look at quotes from your book, you use the word pivot more than one time.
Yes.
In successful failure. And that was what stuck out to me. You said your ability to pivot from adversity has been a huge piece of your success, man. So we appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate y'all.
No, bro.
Hey,
Honestly, though, it's funny. But see, though, honestly, comedians, dog, have been like some of our best shows just because you guys can tell a serious story.
Yeah.
And it can find humor in it.
For sure.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless. Take a stomach, got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up.